Welcome to the online portion of the forklift operator training. A forklift is a powered industrial truck used to lift and move materials over short distances. Operators must have a valid driver's license, be certified and authorized, at least 18 years old, and be adequately trained. Operators are required to inspect forklifts at the start of each shift, report any unsafe conditions immediately to a supervisor, and promptly remove defective forklifts from service. Training is required prior to operating a forklift. In addition to this course, hands-on demonstration and evaluation on a forklift is required every 3 years. Retraining may be required if an operator is involved in an accident or near miss, shows poor or careless driving, or there is a change in the driving conditions or equipment. Forklifts are not like standard automobiles. They are relatively heavier, which reduces acceleration time and increases the braking distance required for a forklift to come to a complete stop. Forklifts steer from the rear axle and pivot on the front wheels, which causes the rear end to swing wide. Automobiles steer from the front, making tight turns more difficult. The center of gravity is higher on forklifts than vehicles due to the load. Forklifts have poor visibility due to the mast or load obstructing the view, whereas vehicles have excellent visibility compared to forklifts. Manufacturers are required by law to install a data plate on any type of equipment used to lift or move objects. A standard data plate shows the model number and the serial number, which are essential for communicating information to customer support or purchasing parts. The fuel type, in this case it's liquid propane. The weight of the forklift. The capacity that can be lifted. The attachments approved for use. As you can see, this forklift has a side shifter in place, meaning the carriage can be shifted left or right. The load center, the maximum fork height, and the maximum distance the forks can be offset from the forklift's center line. The front wheels of a forklift are the fulcrum point or pivot point. The rear of the forklift has counterweights to help offset the weight of the load. Unloaded forklifts are less stable because all the weight is in the rear. When the forks are loaded, the weight of the forklift and load are more evenly balanced. When the load outweighs the counterweight, the forklift can tip forward when the load is raised. For optimum stability, the center of gravity must stay within the stability triangle. When the forklift is loaded, the combined center of gravity shifts toward the front, making the forklift more stable. When the center of gravity is outside the stability triangle, the forklift will tip. Loads that are too heavy or offset, taking corners too fast, picking up a load with the tip of the forks, tipping the load forward, and an unlevel travel surface may all cause the center of gravity to shift outside the triangle. In the event that a forklift tips, hopefully a seatbelt was worn, as this keeps the operator from falling out of the caged area. Hold tightly to the steering wheel with both hands. Never allow your hands or arms to reach outside the caged area. Plant your feet flat on the floor and press down to keep your body stable and your legs inside the caged area. Finally, lean in the opposite direction the forklift is tipping. Forklifts must be inspected daily or before each shift as required by OSHA. Not inspecting a forklift could lead to a hazardous situation or cause serious damage. Any issues found must be reported and the forklift removed from service immediately. Check fluid levels such as oil, water, and hydraulic fluid. Check for leaks, cracks, and visible defects everywhere on the forklift. Check mast chains visually and avoid the use of hands. Test the mast chain tension by lifting the load backrest to eye level. The mast chains should be level, and any tilting may signify stretching or broken rollers. Check tire condition, pressure, and look for any cuts or gouges. Determine the fork condition, remembering to check the top clip retaining pin and heel. Ensure the load backrest extension functions properly. Check the functionality of finger guards. Ensure safety decals and nameplates are legible and match the forklift model. Check that the operator's manual and logbook are present and legible. Ensure the operator's manual compartment is clean of any debris. Test all functional safety devices, such as seat belts and horns. Check the brakes, steering controls, and other operational items for proper function. When the forklift is parked or left unattended, the forks must be flat on the ground with the mast at its lowest position. Turn the engine off and set the parking brake. Do not park the forklift where it may block exits, emergency equipment, or safety signs or postings. Frostbite is likely to happen when disconnecting and reconnecting a propane tank to the forklift's fuel line. PPE, including safety glasses or goggles, neoprene or rubber gloves, a long-sleeved shirt, and safety shoes should be worn. Propane, like gasoline, is highly flammable. Do not replace the propane tank near any open flames or sparks. Since propane vapor displaces oxygen, large amounts of it can cause asphyxiation to those working in the area. Refueling should be done in a well-ventilated area or outside. When changing the propane tank on the forklift, be sure the shift selector is in the neutral position and set the parking brake. Shut the gas off by turning the tank screw knob clockwise until it's tight. Then turn the forklift on and let it run until it shuts off by itself. This removes any extra gas that's in the line. Double check by trying to start the forklift again. If it does start, make sure the valve is completely closed. Disconnect the fuel hose by unscrewing it. Unlatch the fuel tank and use 2 hands to remove it. Carefully lift the new tank and rotate the tank within the bracket. Line the slot in the tank collar up with the screw in the bracket. This locks the tank into place. When properly positioned, the propane tank pressure relief valve should point upward. Make sure the valve on the new tank is closed. Then take the fuel line coupler and screw it into the valve. Turn it clockwise until it's tight. Pull the latch over the tank and secure it. Turn the tank screw knob counterclockwise until you can't anymore. You should hear a soft hissing noise that lasts for 1 to 3 seconds while opening the valve. Listen, smell, and look for leaks. If you do have a leak, close the valve immediately and ventilate the area. Electric forklifts operate the same as propane forklifts. However, there are different hazards when charging a forklift battery. Lead-acid batteries are very heavy. Any equipment used to move batteries should facilitate easy movement without the need for manual lifting or awkward body movements. Review proper lifting techniques as well as any limits on the amount of weight that should be lifted by one person. Hydrogen gas is generated when batteries are being charged, and if the battery charging area is not well ventilated, the accumulation of hydrogen gas can present an explosion hazard. In addition to providing ventilation, keep battery charging areas clean and free of open flames or anything that could create a spark. The electrolyte in batteries contains sulfuric acid, which is corrosive and can cause chemical burns if it splashes out of refillable batteries. Use face shields, goggles, and gloves to prevent injuries, especially when water is being added after a battery has been charged. Eye wash stations must be located within 25 feet of battery charging stations. Spilled electrolyte can cause chemical burns and is a slip and fall hazard. so keep spill kits near battery charging stations. Like all batteries, lead-acid batteries hold an electrical charge and have the potential to arc. Remove any metal jewelry that could conduct electricity, and be aware of any other metals in the area that may increase the risk of explosion. Do not allow people to ride in the forklift. Stay off the forks. Sound the horn when vision is limited. Carry the forks as low as possible. No smoking near a forklift or while operating a forklift. Tie down or otherwise secure all loads. Watch overhead clearance when driving with a raised load. And stay 10 feet away from overhead power lines. Let's summarize the important points in today's training. Forklifts are more hazardous than people usually perceive them to be. Pre-use inspections must be performed before each day or shift to ensure the forklift is in proper working order. It is important to understand how the load will affect the stability of the forklift. The operator must always be on the lookout for hazards and pedestrians.